for everyone to log in. This is just going to be a super quick type live video where I can explain kind of what I'm seeing in the market right now, which will help those that are on the fence about buying or selling so that you can make a proper decision. It's all going to be based on a little bit of facts, but then just a lot of my opinion and what I feel is happening right now. And this market for the last year and 3 months, I would say in June of 2020, that's when it's really started picking up and getting really busy. So I do feel a little bit of a change right now happening. And I'd say it's been like that since about a month and a half. And so I just wanted to go on, share that. So anybody on the fence, at least you know what's going on right now. So we will, if you have questions as we're going through, feel free to ask those questions and I'll do my best to answer them. And so we'll just jump in. I'll do a screen share. I'll show you, some of the recent solds within the Durham region from pretty much whatever's been updated today as sold. So you can see the spread from list price to actual sale price, which could make a big decision because typically it was kind of, if your budget was $1 million, you'd have to look at things that were maybe $799, where right now that spread isn't quite the same, especially on the first-time home buyer or the investor price properties. They're selling a little bit closer to what they're being listed for, which is a good sign because you don't have to go crazy to get a house right now. Most of the time, there's still a lot of those exceptions where something will just go crazy. And sometimes it could be the one buyer that was so far above anybody else that just made the comparable for that street or whatever just be way out of whack. So let me do a screen share and then you can kind of see what's been updated as of today so far with what has been sold and what those price points actually were compared to list price. So this is the main login for the Toronto Real Estate Board. So when I log in, this is kind of like the second or third screen that I see. And you'll see on these corners here, it shows 45 new listings. And this is all of the Durham region. So this covers from Pickering to Clarington up north to the Scugog type area. And then same thing for updates. So anytime a listing is updated, whether it's updated as sold firm or conditionally sold, or there was a price change, that gets updated. So just to put this into context a little bit, June and July of this year, this average I was seeing for Durham was about 140 to 160 new listings. Since about the beginning to middle of August to now, that number there's only been like 60 new listings. So right off the bat, the first indicator is the amount of daily new listings that are coming onto the market has gone down quite a bit. And that has, you would think, have an effect where prices would go completely nuts, but it hasn't really happened like that. So inventory has been down, but the amount of offers per property has been down a lot too. And then when you look at the sale price, it's still higher than what it's being listed for 90% of the time, but it's not quite as crazy. So this could be a mix between people pricing it a little bit closer to what they want it to be sold for, or the fact that there's not as many offers on offer day. In the complete mix of everything, when things were crazy, it would be normal. I would compete with between 15 and 30 offers. One time there was like 40 something offers that we were competing with on one property. And now it's, 5 to 7. And that just means that the inventory has slowed down, but then the amount of buyers that are out there has slowed down as well. So it's good for anybody who's looking to buy. And if you're looking to sell, it could be an indication of not wanting to wait too long because you could have the market slow down a little bit. Obviously, it's a market we've never lived through before with a pandemic that's really affected everything. So there's no way to know for sure what's going to happen, but it's just the indicators, meaning it could slow down, or this could just be a temporary slowdown. And then, October is going to hit and then things go mental again. So for the new listings that have hit the market today, this isn't really much of a factor to consider right now. So none have been listed and sold today. So we'll go on the updates part here. That's the problem with live. I would have just cut that out if I was editing the video, but I can't do that when it's live. And I always sort them in terms of price so that it groups them all together. So higher price points typically aren't as competitive as the lower price points because not as many people can afford a $2.5 million house in Durham opposed to a $700,000 house in Durham. And then you get into the Ajax, which is the southwest area, which is a pretty high demand within Ajax because it's close to the water. It was listed at 870. It went for almost 1.2. So that's an example of, things getting crazy a little bit still. Same thing here in Pickering, $850,000 house. It's a 2-car garage, 4-bedroom house. There's no way that would have been selling for under $1 million. So that was just one of those trick prices. And then you go into Clarington. So this is Curtis, which is on the Oshawa border. 7th list price, sold for just under $1 million. And then more in Curtis, 700, sold for $925. And go down here a little bit to Ajax, an $800,000 list price in Central, which is kind of right in the heart of Ajax, and it sold for $840. So that's only $40,000 higher than list price, where when things were crazy, $799 would resort typically to $900, $910, $920. Whitby, which is Williamsburg, it's a detached bungalow, very high demand because it's good for downsizers. It's good for investors who are looking to put in a basement suite, but then it's also good for first-time home buyers because of the affordability side of things. 700, and it sold for 801. So that's something that, that was pretty decent. So when you see the spread from list price to actual sale price, it's not like what we were seeing before. A 699 detached in Clarington that was listed at 700 typically might have gone well over 800,000. That didn't quite happen. So it's just one of those things that it's an indicator that things could be getting a little bit easier for people who are looking to buy. There's no guarantees on that. One thing I've noticed too is the less than, let's just say, $800,000 homes, it seems to have slowed down a little bit more than the $1.5 million homes. So another reason why I'm mentioning that is, hold on, I'll get rid of the screen share, is because when the market starts to get crazy, it's typically the entry-level homes that they started off. And so all those people who do well, they buy up. So they're buying something bigger. And then that market, so you might go from a $500,000 market to a $700,000 market. So everything starts to pick up steam, and it's just like that bowling ball effect. So as the entry level gets crazy, the move up from there goes crazy. And then the people who are in those like second stage of their life type homes, they want something bigger. And so they're moving up. So what I'm finding right now, especially in Oshawa, Whitby, Ajax, and Pickering, is the really nice homes that are, in and around 1 to 1.7 million right now. That's where I'm seeing a lot of offers. There was just one that I viewed on the weekend, and they did offers on Monday, and there was 17 offers. It was a $1.5 million list price. It was a $1.3 million list price with 17 offers and went for 1.7. In Mississauga, I wrote an offer last week. List price was 1.5. There was 5 offers. It sold for 1.7. So that price point right now, which wasn't as crazy a year ago, is still pretty competitive, and it's hard to buy in that price range, especially if it's a really, really nice house, where the starting price point seems to not have the same amount of like craziness that's going on right now. So what that makes me believe is things might be slowing down to that extent, because the first section of the market that increases, which would be entry-level homes, is the first one to kind of slow down, which it's that domino effect again, where they're not getting the same sale prices. So it's kind of slowing down everything. So the last to pick up the most steam is the more expensive homes. And then the last one to slow down again would be those more expensive price points. So that's just indicators that things could be getting a little bit better. Again, I've said it before, and I've been saying this pretty much since November, where I thought things were going to slow down in November of 2020. And here we are like 10 months later, and we're still living through the same market where it's been crazy. So this opinion I'm giving could be completely wrong in terms of what actually happens, but it's just something that I've been feeling, and who knows what will happen, but that's just something that I've noticed, wanted to put out there. It's 100% opinion based, so I can't say for 100% certainty that's what's actually going to happen, but that's just something that I felt. Just see here if there's any questions. If you have questions, feel free to ask them, and I'll do my best. Depending on what your questions are, I should be able to answer them. If you are in a different market, you can put in how your market is, because I'm always curious to see how other art markets are within the GTA. I focus more so within the Durham region. So if you're looking to move to Durham, I can help you with that. I'm well versed on the west end of Toronto too, because that's where I was born and raised. But in terms of my involvement for like day-to-day showings and offers, not quite as much. So I'm very curious to see how everything is there. Just close that. If there's no questions, I'm going to log it off. It was just a little quick update that I wanted to give for anybody who's out there. I try and do videos every Friday. I don't think I'm going to be posting a video tomorrow, so I figured I would just hop on here quickly, give a little bit of a market update from what I am seeing, so that anybody out there who's looking to buy, they have a little bit more information about the market. If you are looking to move to Durham, you can call, text, email. I do my best to answer any questions that you have. Thanks for watching. And since there's no questions, I'll close it off right now. But I wish everyone luck if they are looking to buy or sell, that everything works out for them. And yeah, I'm always here. Just in case there's a delay, I'm just going to log on to make sure there was no questions. No, I think we're good. All right, everyone have a good day. Weekend's coming up. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Bye.